It's the final day of July and it's time to say goodbye to this journal. I have sort of taken a break from journaling in July. I haven't been as careful, or I haven't tried to make it pretty all the time, and I haven't kept up with writing about things. I have used my system to, there are things that you have to keep track of even when you're on vacation, but I've sort of tried to tone it down a bit, because that's one way of falling back in love with your system and wanting to really use your next journal. Yeah, because it feels like if I sort of work on my journal all year round, it just pisses me off in the end. So I need that vacation from my journal as well. So that's why it looks like it looks, nothing in here is very pretty. Well, there are pages that I've sort of fixed in the mix after the fact, but a lot of it looks like this, just several different things on each page, no structure, just, and I've ripped pages out and glued them in or taped them in. It's just a mess, really, and it's okay. But now I really want to have structure again, and that's sort of the point of my August or autumn planner journal, because I will be going back to work in a week and I'm slowly easing back into routine, and by letting go of all routines in July, I really want to get back into it in August. So that's I planned it that way. I planned to not have plans, basically. So I have my notes for this video here, and yes, I have a theme for August for once. I don't usually have themes or word of the month type stuff, but I'm trying, because I do have a color for each month, and August is gold, and I mentioned in another video that I discovered that gold is the color of Leo, and this lion is a bit wonky. I drew it from a reference on Pixabay, and I don't know, when it looked fine to begin with, but then I've never drawn a lion before, and I did some sketches, and it's sort of, it looks like a dog because I have drawn dogs before, so getting that feline thing is kind of hard. But I did my best. Whoops. Always something falling off the table when I'm doing videos, sorry. But I wanted August to be a month of courage and sort of self-confidence and, well, Leo, pride. So I made this. I made this yesterday to bond with the book, and I really did. I really believe in bonding with new journals and planners and just working with it to create a relationship with it. And as always, I have my pocket here in the front, and I put some, well, it's not a trim, it's just from a piece of fabric, but it's the same that I've used on the front. Just to, it needed that balance because I painted the edges with this brown, and this side looked really strange, so I put that there. And I'm in love with this spread, even though the line is wonky, but I'm thinking, it's a documentation of where I was at this time. I'm trying to improve my art, so this will be something to look back on and think, yeah, I've look at how wonky that was and how non-wonky my lions are nowadays in a year or 10 years. So yes, theme, gold. My tracker is also gold and a bit orangey red. And yeah, what else? Now I lost my train of thought. Back to the notes. Yes, I wanted to talk about the fear of starting, because I'm working on it and I've really come a long way. I am not as afraid of the empty page as I used to be. Like, you know, you're going to ruin it, and when it's a whole new book, you're really going to ruin it because you're going to make a mistake on the first page, you know, all that. But I'm thinking, why are we so afraid of messing things up? It's like, if we want perfection, we should buy things, ready-made things, books with writing already in them, and just let it sit on the shelf, have a look through every now and again, but don't use it, because when you use something, there's wear and tear, and if you write in it, you will make mistakes, and it's, you know, you can't live your life without making mistakes and making messes, and it's the same with your books. So I think the book is kind of a metaphor for life, or allegory, or whatever. And if you're afraid to mess up in life, you want your life to be perfect, perhaps that sort of is reflected in your fear of starting books, because your handwriting isn't good enough, and you, I don't know, whatever. So my solution to this is to have, well, different sections where I do different things. So in my planning section, I am allowed to be messy. Like this calendar, I'm already sort of ruining it by drawing arrows and sort of cramming things into the box because there's not space enough. But this will not stay this way. I will paint over it as I go through the month. So in the end, it will look something like this. It will become art. So I'm trying to, I mean, when I set up project spreads like this one, I try to make it structured, because it's a reference page where I list things to remember about a project, and well, it's sort of pristine in a way. But then when I sort of get into my stride, no, what's the expression, you know, when you're in the middle of the project and you have everything figured out, and you add notes, and it can become more messy because it's not as, you know, or I don't need it to be as structured in the middle of a project because I'm in it, you know, I know it by heart. So at the start, it needs to be really perfectly laid out, as it were, lots of white space and all that, then messy, and then paint over it and make art out of it. So there are sort of 3 stages: pristine, unstructured, messy, and painted over. So that's my solution to the planning section. And then we have the journaling section, which I'm sort of afraid to start. I have inked all of the pages. I have another video on how I did that, and I am going to add some trims, not too much because it adds bulk. I'm trying to add things that don't give a lot of bulk, like stenciling and stamping. Yeah, and these temporary tattoos that I put on paper instead of on my hair or on my body. I bought them secondhand, so I'm just using them up. So anyway, this section is beautiful to my eyes, so I will be afraid to start it. but I will start tomorrow. And I have a list of things because I've been watching a lot of Monique Smith, and she has this morning routine with a planner where she writes in several different areas. Like she has prayer pages and pages for her family and stuff, and it really inspires me to do something similar, because I do want to journal and use my planner in the morning, but I don't know what to write. I've tried writing morning pages, and it works for a while, and then I just get sick of it and fall off the wagon. So now in August I'm going to try to make my journaling a little bit more structured. So I have a few areas that I'm going to journal about, and I've listed them on the first page. So I have today's bonus, or yesterday's bonus, because if I journal in the morning, I will write about the day that was. That's sort of a gratitude list, but it's more specified. The today's bonus indicates that it's something out of the ordinary happened, like the train wasn't late. That's today's bonus. Today's bonus can't be that, you know, I love my husband, because I do every day. It's just, it should be specific to that day. Wins, self-explanatory, my wins for the day. Looking forward to, because all of these are positive, so I'm trying to foster some positivity in August. Michelle B, a channel I follow, and she has a lot of life advice, and I consume her videos and her newsletter, and I never do anything, even though she really focuses on actionable stuff. So I'm going to journal about, you know, one video a day, or one piece of advice from her a day. So just to start thinking about how I might apply those things. Then I've set up a rule for myself about social media. If I scroll through Reddit, I have to debrief afterwards. Because I am drawn to drama and Schadenfreude. I don't know how to say that in English. I know you've nicked the word from German, but I don't know how to say it in English. I'm drawn to negative things, and I realize that it makes me tired. It's a lot of input into my brain when I should really be resting, because I tend to scroll when I am tired, and it makes me even more tired. So bad all around. So I've set this rule that if I do this, I have to write about it afterwards and sort of figure out, why did I get stuck in this thread? Did it give me anything of value? You know. Morning pages / random. If I feel like writing something random, I can. It's not all rules and headings. Memories. I was thinking, there are so many memories from a time when I didn't journal, or from a time when I journaled, but I threw those journals away. Long story. So I was thinking I could journal about old memories, like when I was 10 years old, 15 years old, 3 years old. Then I have 3 questions that I got from a work coach last autumn. The 3 questions are: what did I do for myself today or yesterday? What did I learn about myself today or yesterday? And what do I want to do for myself today? So I did that for a while this winter, and I'd like to pick it up again. Then, if you're still with me, I'm going to journal about project areas. So I'm going to choose one tab from my Someday Maybe insert and journal about it. And it doesn't have to be a lot of text, and that goes for all these categories. It's just to keep them alive, you know, because it's so easy to write your Someday Maybe lists and then just they languish in oblivion. And I'm trying to sort of, well, I can have a look at my, I don't know, my clothes tab, and get inspired by what I've put here, you know, the things I like in clothes, the things I should do, like mend things, and then I can journal about that. Just a few words of, you know, today I want to wear something nice, and it turns out my, I don't know, this shirt I like has a hole in it, so I need to toss it. I don't know, but something about one of my projects to keep them alive. And then finally, sketching. I need to draw more because I want to get better, and I want to, it's sort of a meditative practice. So that's also something I want to do in the mornings. And I have, in the middle of my someday maybe insert, I have the draw and paint spread. So I've actually put some sketching paper here on the string. It was just a happy accident that it was in the middle, so it really fits. Okay, so all that to say that I am apprehensive about starting, because all these pages are so beautiful, and when you cover them with writing, you sort of draw the eye away from these beautiful patterns that I've made with ink. So, problem, you know, but then I thought, if I use a gold pen like here, it is a gel pen, it's not super visible, so you do write, but the paper and the pattern on the paper is still quite visible through the writing. So that's sort of my solution to that. And if you make a mistake, it's less visible than if you use like a black pen or a pink pen. So what else? Yes, oh, one more thing about being afraid to start and ruining your book. I actually, in my July planner here, I have an insert that I never used. So it has just sat here the whole month and I haven't written in it, even though I planned to do it. But then I realized that's actually something you can do. If you're afraid of ruining your book, you can have an insert or a part of your book that you don't use. You just make it pretty and then leave it like that. And then when you feel like it, when you're playing with your journal, you can leaf through it and just look. And you don't have to write in it. Just a few pages of roses and lace and, you know, something to look at and handle. And it doesn't have to be anything else. So that's another tip. Okay, onwards. What do I need to do now as I switch books? Well, I have to update my Someday Maybe insert, because I have been writing quite a lot in July. I have had lots of ideas that I've put in my Someday Maybe section in my July planner. And this little book is transferable. I can rip it off the gaffer that holds it to the other sections in this planner, but I'm not going to for August. So I have this Someday Maybe section that I have to update with the new things from this one. So that's one thing I need to do in order to be prepared for August. What else? I need to transfer some spreads as well. Oh yes, because there are projects that I've planned or started planning that aren't done yet. So I'll need to transfer them. Sorry, just brain malfunction there. So, and yes, one thing I realized about that is that I often don't need the whole spread. for one project. Work, yes, but home projects, not always. So I've realized in order to save some paper, I'm going to put several things on one spread. So for example, where are you? Here, I'm going to have one page for a family get-together that I'm planning at the end of August. And here I'm going to have a list that's called Where the Hell Is, where I put, like for example, when I lose my phone, I write where I found it, so that next time I'm looking for it, I can check this list and see, oh, maybe it's charging. It's always charging when I'm looking for it. Or it's in my bag, or, you know. So I have a running list where I put that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have its own spread. There will be the family get-together, which is the people tab, and the Where the Hell Is page that has the cleaning and sort of housework tab. So that way I won't waste paper. Oh, one more thing. I need to make new tabs. Because, well, I want to keep some tabs in the old planner to find some spreads again, like planner plans, for example. There are ideas there that I want to maybe use in the future, so I keep the tabs on those spreads and remove the ones I know I won't need. But that means I use them up and I need to make new ones, so that's also something I need to do to set up the new journal. And one final thing I did this morning. I'm chomping at the bit to start this journal, so I just tested out my plans for the journaling section. So I put all the headings, that I put in here, and journaled about them to see if it was something I liked doing, and I did. So I wrote about all the things, and I also made a sketch that was really bad. And then I redid the sketch and it was slightly better. It's a ballet dancer. So yeah, that's it. Today I'm saying goodbye to this one, and I belatedly realized that I should have covered it in more roses. Because that would have made it prettier. This is to signify that there was thunder, but it's too late now. Maybe next year. Because when it may look like crap when you're using it, but in 10 years when you look back, that crap is a memory. So yeah, when time passes, it is like looking at old photographs of yourself, and you think, I didn't look half bad. Why was I so, critical? And then you look at a photograph of yourself now and you think, ugh. So, time passing really puts a sheen on things. So don't worry, just wait for 10 years and your ugly planner will be fine.